Welcome to the Boost It, the North American podcast. I'm G the Kaio.
I'm Private Dancer.
And I'm Trex.
Mirka was casting with some, I want to say Indian lady the other day, and chat was just fucking going in. I'm like, Jesus, guys. Go. Yeah, on her.
Like bad
I'm
stuff?
like, bro. Yeah, I mean, she's got an accent, but she wasn't terrible. Just people going in. I'm like, first of all, bro, anybody sounds awful next to Mirko.
Are we recording?
We are recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Mirko just sounds so fucking spectacular. Even us, like, I feel fucking...
Mirko, this dude's overseas. He's like, what? I'm pretty sure he's. I don't know his full nationality, but that dude speaks better English than me.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people speak better English than you, G.
Yeah, that's all right, man. I mean, I'm an accountant. You come to me with your tax return, and I'll do it.
I'm not an Englishologist. I'm an accountant.
You don't see me, dude. I don't think I've written on a piece of paper in forever. I don't even type papers anymore. It's just I just hate English. I don't know.
You should learn another language.
Speak alien. I've tried learning Spanish, and if you thought my English was bad, my Spanish is not good, that's for sure.
Oh man, so it's all over, bro.
It's all over.
It was fun though. It was fun, even right from the beginning, dude. That's why I was so happy to fucking get it and get outside and get there early, dude.
I'm so glad we got there early.
Yeah.
By the time it happened, we weren't getting lost in hotels. We weren't really like. I'm very glad that we left that we all got there on the 27th and had like 2 days to just.
Even though Rex was still heading to the wrong direction.
The hotels are huge out there. Every hotel's like a mini city in Las Vegas. They got their own fucking floors of food and fucking casinos.
I don't know if your guys' like apps or phones took took your mileage or anything like that, or your steps. But, dude,
your mileage.
I walked every single day we were there. I walked 10 miles.
I will say that like whenever you used Google Maps, like the hotels themselves had like walkways in Google Maps. Like as you were like if you wanted to like get to like this or that, like it would tell you how to get there through the hotel, kind of like, or like different directions and stuff. It was weird. It was very strange.
Commoners do. I just got lost for about 3 hours.
Yeah, we know.
Started seeing places that I recognized.
The amount of times we lost Private, like we'd look back and he was gone. I was like, what in the world?
He was disappearing on purpose. He was doing that on purpose.
I was searching. No.
He's searching.
No, it's funny too. Even like locals there, like Xena and I had to go pick them up when they were Xena and Luna when they were coming to the studio. They're like, we're lost. I heard them from them like half an hour before that. I'm like, you guys ready? Like, yeah, we're there. Like, we'll be there in a minute. And then like 30 minutes later, yeah, we're lost. We're at the valet. I'm like, all right, I'll go pick you up. That place it's just like it can get so confusing.
But the craziest thing for me was that like the Uber drop-off place is different than the Uber pickup place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when I was in the Aria and I ordered an Uber and like I walked to exactly where he's at, and I'm like, yo, dude, I'm like up here. Where are you? He's like, I'm here. I'm like, you're not here, bro.
You gotta go to the lower.
Yeah, and then I was like,
they did that to me too.
I was like, where, like, can you explain your surroundings? He's like, it's dark.
Was it dark?
And I'm like, okay.
There's some dude in the corner.
Well, that's better than me and T-Rex. I thought we were in different fucking universes.
In the airport?
Like, all right, I see the taxis. Yeah, like I see the. He's like, I see the taxis. I'm like, all right, I'm right up at the front, number one position. He's like, all right, man, I'm making it up there. Oh, is that you? I'm over at number one, dude. Yeah, the pink taxi. I'm like, there is no fucking pink taxi, dude. What are you talking about?
Private thought I was like lying or something. The guy was like getting mad at me. Day one, first hour in Vegas. Private's like, what is wrong with you, bro? He's like telling his taxi driver, he's like, he's not good at this. He's just not good at this. I'm like, I'm at number one.
This shit was so bad.
I wish I was there for that.
Dude, you got there late and decided you needed to fucking make up for it with all the with how much you were fucking destroying your drinks.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, I still won in bowling. I'm the undefeated.
You are the
bowling
undefeated
champ.
bowler. I came in last.
I'm pretty sure not one of those bowling balls is a perfect sphere anymore. Oh, he was fucking lobbing them down there.
Dude, you gotta give power behind every strike. I learned that in basic.
Oh gosh.
All right. So biggest takeaway. What was your guys' favorite thing? Like if there had to be one thing that was the best part of the whole trip.
For me, I liked putting faces to not just faces, but personalities to some of these players, because all you really do get to see is them sitting down in front of their camera, playing the game.
It's true.
And it was really as like Hoon, dude. Hoon's cool as fuck. Like, and he's cool. Very outgoing as well. Zane's about the same way too. He's a little older and he's got a little bit more. What's the word? Social. Yeah, he's young, but he's as far as like, I mean, the general fucking age brackets of those teams, like he's old. And then it's funny just to see like they just kind of like they just jump in, especially like with the whole everybody was just gonna fucking room with Shark. That was their plan. I'm like, bro,
it's a good plan. I mean, that was almost my plan for a minute. It was like, yo, Ritz, you need a place? Who needs? You need a place? You need a place? Like, we were just gonna have the floor filled.
I would say. Oh, go ahead. You can finish.
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I would say my biggest takeaway was when like all of us were in the hotel room, man. Like when we were all together. Like the very first time, just away from the crowds, away from, the crazy Vegasness, not in a studio full of production, crowds, fans, and players, just being able to sit down and be like a bro with, like Tank, being able to finally meet Ben and I mean the personalities as well. Like, I felt like how Private was saying the teams needed to bond. I felt like it was a really good bonding experience for a lot of us influencers that have only ever seen each other's faces,
And I liked the grouping of it. Everybody seemed cool. I don't know. Like I know that sounds odd, but I've been with a lot, and maybe that's the military part of me speaking out, because there's always like that one odd duck in the military who joined because there was nothing else for him, and he just kind of like odd. But like everybody there, I mean, I guess that's what you get with influencers anyway, because you're gonna have a lot of people who are very outgoing, who are comfortable being in front of the camera. And it was just so much fun with everybody.
Most definitely. I liked on that point, I think that was also very similar for me, just meeting everybody. I think it was definitely cool meeting Zane, Chicken, like the Valley and stuff, because I think like when it came to The Simpsons, I already knew like there was like everybody, like I've already talked to them for the past year, right? Like I don't think I've ever really like chatted and sat down and talked to Zane and or Chicken or any of them, right? Shark a bit more because he was like in NASL season 2 and stuff, and he played for a bit. So like I've actually like chatted with him a little bit. Basic, I've chatted with him. I feel like Hoon, like you kind of know what you're like he's outgoing on stream. He's a fucking goofball, you know what I'm saying? So like I kind of knew he was gonna be cool. I think like the two wild cards were like Zane and Chicken, and like once like I sat and talked to them like. Right after I'd already, like I said, what's up to Zane, but I think we really started talking after the finals and everything. And like we were just talking about the past games and stuff and chit chat, and then we played some chess and stuff like that. And like it was, they were both like everyone was just super down to earth. I think Zane obviously a bit reserved, and I think he was just really focused on like. So I think a lot of us, it was funny because like there was a lot of awkward moments, but the common talking point for everybody was like, oh, Mobile Legends, like anytime like there was like no topic to talk about. Like I think there was a few times we were like talking to Xena or Luna or anybody really. It was like, oh, what do you think about this or what do you think about that? And like it was cool to have that common nerd out,
Yeah, that's the really interesting thing about this too, because it wasn't just meeting random people out at some random party you got drugged to. It was everybody. There was always at least a default that you could go back to that would make things not awkward, even if you're just like, dude, what do I talk about? Mobile Legends.
Common ground.
Or us fucking geeks getting drunk and fucking 1v1ing in a fucking in a hotel.
Yes.
Let's just all get drunk in 1v1 for no
Everybody
reason.
was attacking T-Rex, man. The Rex is out here slaying them,
I was
like,
killing them, knocking them dead.
Randall was like, it's not you, it's me. And then you took out E-Money, dude. It was great. It was
definitely
everybody
fun.
was it was definitely fun with all of that stuff. And then a big thing too is I'm a lot more confident with the Valley going to M4 now than I was beforehand. Talking with all of them, like especially Basic, who's his older brother, who was there, what was his name?
That is Ballot. I don't know his actual name. I just know his Discord name and his
But
Mobile
he's
Legends
been taking
name.
over as far as like trying to be like a manager, getting everybody like ready and
Ballot
stuff like
was
that.
huge.
Like they are,
boy.
oh, dude. Yeah, he was. He's a big boy.
Ballot was huge.
But he's got a good head on his shoulders. Basic does too. Hoon, all of them, they realize some of their shortcomings, like when it comes to like being a team and stuff like that, and they were out there trying to make that, to try to close those little holes that they had with each other. And that's what I really kind of liked to see, and it really kind of made me reconsider and be like, yo, these dudes have a really 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 good shot when they go to Indonesia.
So one of the biggest things that you were talking about private before was that you were hoping that they were going to fill every seat in the crowd, like
they did.
Do you think they met your expectations? Like,
yeah, they did.
That's true. Private was he was like the one who was really worried about it. So I never asked you about that. How do you like?
I was really happy. It was a big smile. I was actually kind of sad because the casters were in a very separate area.
I know.
And we couldn't really hear anybody. But there was a point towards those last few games where we could hear the crowd through the fucking doors, and that brought a huge smile to my face. So I'm like, man, this is it. Like, this is like really like just a great event. Like, and everybody's having fun, and just not just that, but people don't realize, and I know it's kind of hard to explain if you're from Indonesia or the Philippines, but in the US, making that type of distance to Las Vegas, of all places, that's a huge leap for a lot of people to do. And it's pretty crazy. It's a lot of money. It's a huge distance to cover for some people, and it's just amazing to see all of these people. Like, and I know this is only like a fraction of the type of fans we have in North America, but still the amount of people willing to put in that much effort to come down that far to see this thing was kind of heartwarming, and just it was really nice to see.
I'm not gonna lie, even I didn't expect there to be like 100 people, like, because I think that we ended up hitting like 100 people watching. So like, I thought it was gonna be like max like 50, and that's like including like the 10 or 15 content creators and stuff coming,
Yeah.
But like, bro, speaking of, like, when not only that, but just the energy, like when we could hear them coming through the booth and everything, like if I would have been in person, like, I can just imagine, like, I just think that just like feeds so much more to the casters that are casting overseas and stuff, like having like all that stuff, like it just really like it just hypes me up even more and stuff. It just really, I think, added to the whole experience. It was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were in the room, and I was in the crowd, so I got to experience that, man. Like, when I tell you that you heard just a minimal of what was out there, man, like the players could hear the crowd through their headsets that were noise canceling, So like, you got to think, like, this crowd, we were going wild. All of us influencers were in the front row. Like, I even had to move some chairs up to get some of us influencers up in the front because they didn't have enough seats for all of us up there. I had to, of course, Ritz didn't have a spot, and we were just so thick out there that I was like, I moved a chair up. I was like, you ain't sitting in the back. We got you, and
Bro.
it was just crazy.
fans too, and hats off to all the to Ritz, Xena, and Luna.
Yes.
Fucking coming out in their little cosplays. I know you guys have seen pictures. Maybe we can link some here as well. Yeah, it's fucking absolutely. I mean, Ritz came as what, the pajama nana.
Yes.
Yep.
And then Xena and Luna, like, they had it on their Instagrams as well, of them creating, sewing these things together, not just buying pieces, because that's what the fuck a lazy person like me would do. Is I would buy like a beard or a fucking the little Viking helmet and stuff like. No, sewing and painting their stuff together to come to this event. And I remember Ritz starting to get nervous toward the end as she was starting to get there. She's like, other people are dressed up, right? Like, she's just gonna be the only person.
She had messaged me and was like, I'm shy. She's like, other people are dressed up, right? I'm shy. And then I was like, yeah, let me. She's like, where is it? So I think we had like an hour until we had to be on air, or until we started Slate. So like, I run over to the Aria because it's right around the corner from NACT, or it's right around the corner from the Poke Girl. It's like right down the strip. I run over there and I'm like, all right, I'm downstairs by the big circle, if you guys remember the big circle valet or whatever. And she's like, all right, you won't miss me. I'm in a Nana pajama outfit. I'm like sitting here in my nice tux, in my nice blazer and suit and everything. I got like my earpiece in and everything. I look like I'm straight out of the Matrix right now. And I'm sitting there waiting, and she's like, I'm lost upstairs right now, because the hallways are like easy to get lost in. She finally gets down there, and I'm like looking for her, and I just see this little short red-haired wig wearing in a pajama outfit. I'm like, that's Ritz. I can just imagine the sight of me walking back with this girl in this like pajama Nana outfit. It was fucking hilarious. It was great. It was so great. Definitely a highlight. It was actually really great. I was really happy to see that. I don't even do you even see cosplays at some of these other events too often?
I can't even think the last few MPLs. I don't remember seeing cosplays.
I know like M2 they always do, and like the bigger events they always do. They normally have somebody. And like I see pictures of cosplay online. I don't know if it's like, maybe it's just something we don't see on camera all the time, but there's definitely Mobile Legends cosplayers out there.
Yeah, it was really fun to see that. And then they had a bunch of, I like that part of the plan too, because that was another thing I was a little worried about, is all these people kind of coming out and not having something to do out there. They made sure that before the event, hours before, they had like the trivia, the Pictionary, all these things, these goodies to give away, pumpkin painting, and all this stuff to keep it an experience, rather than keeping them all outside, bringing them in, cheering, and then get the fuck out. It was really great. I almost felt really kind of bad. I didn't really want, like, because who was that? Was she from Brazil? The lady who was taking the pictures?
Photographer? Yeah.
They got their money out of her.
Yeah. She was enjoying it. Like, there was a couple times where I was like, sorry, because we were like getting her. She was like, no, it's cool. And I was talking to her after the event and like looking at some of her photos and stuff like that. And she actually, I wish I would have got her Instagram. She's a manager of a league team down, or a Dota team down in Brazil. But she also does photography and stuff like that. So yeah, she's like involved in the scene, and I think she just kind of does this stuff regularly.
Yeah, no, they take some awesome fucking pictures, and
that's for sure. It's not like my slow-mo videos that I randomly took. I don't know how that happened.
My social media has been eating off those pictures for the past 3 days. I've been living good off those pictures the past couple of days.
Same. I've been kind of casually just posting everything, just to build up the excitement and keep it going.
I was gonna start posting some pictures start tomorrow, because like I said, I just kind of needed to step away from online for a bit, get my work done. Because, like, dude, I was thinking about all that shit. I was even starting to get distracted at work. I'm like, nah, bro, I gotta focus. So I can.
I felt that too. I was definitely getting distracted. My phone's constantly blowing up now, and I was I had to throw it on work mode just so that I couldn't see any of the notifications and stuff like that, and I had a lot of work to catch up on. So.
Yeah. So it was great. I enjoyed. I also enjoyed the casting. Did they do? They did videos with you guys too, right? G.
Not me. The only thing that I had was the face painting.
Oh, that was epic.
The face painting competition was absolutely epic. But a lot of the other influencers, a lot of the other influencers and fans got to do some interviews and stuff like that. And I don't know if they're actually released just
I think
yet,
a lot of that stuff is going to be for like M4 promo,
M4.
like fans supporting the Valley and everything. Because like I'm pretty sure from what I heard is a lot of the interviews, they would ask them questions about the Simpsons and they'd ask them questions about the Valley for like all the people that they interviewed. So like that way they would have content whichever team won.
For both.
I'm kind of eager to see what they do with the Valley when they brought them out, because they were going to do a huge production with the production. You know what I mean? Because that dude did good work out there. Even though he was about to choke Slam Dave a few times out there. I think that's more or less Dave. It's his first time actually being like in charge of something. So everybody learns a style. That's what I learned in the military too, is just that like everybody, like at the very first thing that they always do is try to micromanage everything. And and it takes a little bit for you to kind of ease up, know where you have to put the pressure. What was the one thing that stuck out in my mind is he's like, I think my 5 Emmys, I've learned how to produce something. So me and Trex are just sitting back there. Where would you like us, sir? You want us to sit over there?
Stand here. Say this. Dave was like, "Can I say it like this? Hey, can I maybe just ad lib it a little bit? Like, can I, what if I look this way instead?" Like it was funny. It was definitely funny. When Dave first started driving the Rolls Royce, I was like, "Oh God!"
More scared. Yeah, he looks so comfortable in it, but bro, when he got into that thing, dude, you would have thought the entire thing was made of glass. He's just like, oh God.
He's like, "Can I have the white gloves, Rex?
Can I?"
Oh man,
it was good. It was good. We can, I guess, kind of talk about that face paint competition, though. I'd say that's about the midway of what happened.
I know Wheezy would prefer us not to. I hear his entire Discord clowned him.
I think
it was hilarious.
I think the coolest thing about that was like, I think like just the 4 of us did really good, and just like a sense of like keeping it comedic, keeping it rolling. I think like overall in that whole section, I was really, honestly, when I first saw that post, when Dave was like, "Yeah, there's going to be a halftime break, and you guys are going to paint faces," and I was like, "Oh, God, this sounds really bad." And I was like, I was not feeling it. I'm not going to lie. I was not feeling it at all. And then, like, it grew on me. The idea of it grew on me. And then once we went through it, though, I think it was much better than, like, putting up a 30-minute waiting screen, you know?
Oh, yeah. And honestly, like I really like that too, because like that's one thing I fucking hate. I'm cussing too. That's one thing I hate about watching MPL sometimes is that like you get that, but I understand it too, because they have much longer breaks and you got those casters out there for hours.
Yeah.
And then when a technical pause comes on, those technical pauses are like hours. And then if you had to have them, you'd have some like really, okay, let's go paint some fucking face. Throw in a paintbrush.
I haven't used the bathroom in 6 hours.
Oh man,
there's just a bunch of bottles behind the MPL desk,
and it went so naturally, and that's what I was like really happy with, especially the 4 of us, because I know they were in. I don't know if you guys could hear them too, but like it was only supposed to be like 4 minutes, and then they're telling us to like stretch it out. Oh my God,
I started to panic. I'm like, I'm out of questions. But even that, I think we were like super smooth with it. Like, and I think it was funny. I think I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I was reading the comments during the time. So the first thing that the crowd and the fans and the live chat suspected was that I was Fredrin and Steph was about to be Brody.
Oh no.
So they were like
I kept it
trying
simple,
to like
bare minimum.
I see the thing that kind of screwed me a bit is because like the color choices, like he went up there and he didn't let me finish, but he's like, so what are you about to paint? And I'm like, Balmond. And he's like, okay. And I don't think it registered with him who Balmond was, because it was the producer, not somebody who actually played the game. He's like, you're not going to use white on his face, are you? I'm like, yeah, a little bit. So you can't use white on his face. I'm like,
oh my god,
why not? Yeah. And then so I went there and I'm kind of panicking. I'm like, how do I draw Balmond without white? I mean, and then the luckily teeth. That artist lady over there is like, we can just mix some colors in it. We'll make the teeth a little yellow or something. She was so good too at mixing colors. And she's like, you just got to do this. I'm like,
oh, she was cheating over there with you. She was.
Yeah.
No,
she kept asking me. She was like, "Do you need some help?" And I was like, "Nope, I got this." I immediately brought out like 5 brushes and had them all ready with the color that I was gonna need. Well, Private's like standing there, and I'm like, I'm getting ahead of him. I'm like, I had like all of my brushes ready to go with the paint already on them.
that was another thing is that the chat was talking about is they were like, who in the world is the lady standing back there? She was like, can you do something? Like what? She's just looking.
Oh no, she was. I feel like she kind of was like the safety officer in case we stuck a brush down somebody's throat. We just started choking.
She has an allergic reaction.
Yeah. I mean, when I wiped off all that stuff, man, I don't know what it was, but I had to like literally like take some cold water and like soak my face in it. I don't know what it did to me, but it like I don't know if it was the coloring or something, but it like turned my face like red and irritated.
Wow.
Nice.
So
nice.
How do you guys? I talked a little bit about it. How do you guys feel about the Valley?
I feel good. I felt good. You know, like we got to sit down with Mobazane and everything. A little, kind of talk about some things. We were out kind of having some fun though, so it was a little wild. But
you were the only wild one.
Hey, I was not wild. That was
you
controlled. That was controlled. Dave was a whole different story. That boy. That's a whole nother subject. But Mobazane, he looked dedicated. I felt like, seeing a LAN event, all of them coming in here, kind of like what Private said, they didn't maybe not go paintballing. They didn't play any sports together, but they actually were live in person and kind of got to look at each other while they were speaking. And I feel like that built something, because when I was in the crowd, when I was watching the Valley versus the Simpsons, I constantly seen Basic and Mobazane talking, like looking at each other and talking. So it seemed to me that both of them were trying to create plans, and then they would make some of the decisions that were going on. So it might be an affirmative action that they're kind of trying to take. The Basic doesn't want to overhaul and be the big guy in the house and would love some information from Mobazane, and then them going in on December 1st, getting to Jakarta is going to be a good thing for them too, because now all of the team that hasn't ever been overseas, hasn't had enough training, will be able to get a little bit of training.
I think I've felt really good about them, honestly. Like I think out of the three, out of a lot of people in the community, I've been someone that's like, I think they're gonna do good. I think this is just kind of like really sealed it for me. I think especially going over in the first, even more time to spend together. But just after meeting them all and I don't know, I think they're gonna do good things. And I think even, of course, there's always that worry of if they lose a game, is all that stuff that we're seeing. It was an easy NACT, right? Like they were dominating. It's easy to keep your mood up and everyone be friendly when you're dominating and everybody's loving you, and you got a bunch of fans watching you and everybody's happy to see you. But overseas, it's definitely going to get different. So hopefully they can hold that hold that uplifting spirit even when things get hard over there, because it's going to be hard. And I think the thing that made me feel also good is like Zane's not super confident about, like he's not like not thinking he's going to lose. But I was telling him, I was like, I think, he's like, how do you think we're going to do? And I was like, I think you guys are better. Like I think a lot of you guys are better than you were last year. And his immediate reaction was, yeah, but so are the other teams. He's like, the other teams have also gotten way better. He's like, it's not like they've just stayed stagnant. He's like, so like he's thinking about it. Like he knows. He's like, I don't think he's like, I'm going to get first or anything like that. Like he feels like they're very humble about it. And so was Basic. When we were all sitting the next day talking to Basic about it, he seemed humble about it. Like, oh, I think we should get a coach. I think we do need some things, like stuff like that.
One thing is that all of those, I feel like a lot of players on that team, Hoon, Basic, and then what's his brother's name? Who's that other guy? Ballot. Like they are all focused towards the teams and thinking of different aspects of it, and that's what really kind of turned me around about it, because Basic's big thing, and I know Mobazane's is more like on the technical strategic value of it. Basic is thinking about the team and getting them together, and like he was very very much on the same wave path that I was, of like, we need to do stuff together. I want to go out together with these guys, and now that we're out here, these guys all have faces. They're not just voices talking to each other, like then, and hopefully that builds something together. And then the other guy, Ballot, was there about trying to make sure the management was good. They were where they were supposed to be. They were like, and that really kind of like put this positive spin in me for this team and what they can accomplish there, possibly even without a coach, because like I feel like those three are like, before I was like, nobody's thinking about this stuff, nobody's really considering it, because all we get to see is what they're saying on TV. And you know what, they're not really going to put out that negativity when they're streaming or stuff like that, or all these things that they're considering. But to talk with them and to hear that no, this wasn't an ignored part, this is something that they've been thinking about, this is something that they've been trying to work towards to get better at as well. And honestly, I'm going to tell you too, like some of those picks, some of their strategies with some of these games, even against a team like the Simpsons, some of these strategies really reinforced that these guys know what they're doing to a really good degree. With counter picking, with the trick picks, or with the picks that could be this but end up being that, or baiting people into certain situations because they think, oh, the Grok is definitely going to go on Shark because Shark loves fucking Grok and plays him so well, and then it goes
pulls
on
it out.
Yeah, Chicken
insanity, yo.
Dude.
On that point, Chicken and Shark played great together. Like they had some great combinations together and stuff. Like, and that was something I know some of us were worried about. Like, are they going to be able to get over their drama and play good together? And they did. They had some great combos.
Dude, some of the plays, I mean, in the crowd, dude, that was probably the biggest moment. I'm not gonna lie. Like the moment that we seen the conceal play,
the Grok
wild charge, and then the Numina blast. Dude, it was like, I don't know who made that call, but that call was a split decision, because if they would have hesitated, they wouldn't have caught that, you know. And
that was the best. I think that was the hypest moment of the whole event. I went back and watched that moment, and like that's going to be a moment right there that I think goes down in my history as like one of the top plays in NA right there. That was so clean.
Easily.
Yeah, I'm eager to see too, because I got the fortunately be able to room with Arvel and Cold World, and meet with Cold World, who now Arvel not so much. I forgot who was. Did he have a different name in the squad league, or
he was Arvel? He was part of the Valley.
Okay, but because Cold World I was familiar with for a while, but just talking with him too, he's got a good head on his shoulders too, and it's crazy too, because he's just the prototypical NA player. I think he's in his 20s too, sitting in the motel room doing his homework as well. Like, you know, that's the crazy thing to me, is like you're in Las Vegas and he's just like, all right, dude, I just got to wrap up this fucking essay, dude, for university. And
nice.
And then got like, but like those guys are so cool too, The Simpsons, and I really, like I said, I've really been turned around on those guys, like and I really hope that after this they kind of continue rocking on in North America and kind of to get better and better.
I think they are, like even with Arvel coming from the Valley, it to me, like I've been helping him with his streaming. He started streaming now. He's doing Omelet Arcade, not able to be on cam just yet, but is able to. He's putting himself out there, and it seems like he's going to be staying on OSP. So I think that might be a good pickup for him.
What about Damien though?
I
what
don't
about
know.
Damien?
I don't know.
What happened to him this time? He wasn't able to make it.
It's true. Yeah,
and we're starting to reach another tier. Maybe as far as the squad league is concerned, but I mean, as far as professional play, I think a lot of teams got a wake up call this season about
how to build, about who you need.
Yeah, well, what is acceptable for your team if you want to be successful? And on the other side, NACT got a little bit of a wake up call of what type of freaking reinforcement they need to have to be checking up on people, because and it's like it's a learning experience for both of them right now, and it was baby interesting steps. Just to say that, it is baby steps.
One small step for
that's what he said.
For NACT, one large step for North American MLBB.
One really interesting thing is I got a different appreciation for Dave, because that whole thing, it's not just something he turns on. He is 24/7 that vibe of just like bouncing around and
like that
just
is him
ready.
On stream. That is actually him. It's not like his YouTube persona.
And that would to me was really interesting to see too. And just watching his girl just like shake her head. She's the sweetest thing you will ever meet. She's so nice. And and just like seeing her try to like there's a few moments during the night where she's like Dave, and then she just gives up. She's like, whatever, just run.
Do you
be free?
let the wings fly.
Yeah.
It was good to meet everybody, man. Like meeting Dave, meeting Grace, meeting Steve. A lot of people from Moonton. Like all of them were really good.
I could swear I could feel Dave's heart skip a beat when he pulled that mic from Steve. He's like, I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet.
You're fired.
It's like, oh God, here. We all thought he was done. I thought he was done too. I was waiting. I'm like, is he not going to say anything about North America Mobile Legends? Because like halfway through his speech, he like took a breath, and like I was like, man, that's all he's gonna give us. But then he gave us his Neil Armstrong speech, and I was like, all right, I'm happy now.
I'll bet Dave handled that a lot better than I would, because I would have shrunk into the ground after he would have pulled that mic back from me. Like, oh God, did I just do that? Shoot me now.
The after dinner was also pretty cool.
After dinner was cool.
After
dinner, we got some good pictures of it too.
We had some good balls.
I had some good balls. Pizza without any meat. I was a little confused.
Echo was terribly underimpressed with the pizza.
Dude, I like so they whip out this pizza. They come in, lay it on the table, and I'm like, is there, like, do we top her, or do we put our own toppings on? Like,
it was like an appetizer pizza. It was an appetizer pizza.
You seem to have forgotten the toppings on this pizza.
What the? and then I got I bit the tip and it was burnt, and I was like, oh, this is bad. So I folded it. And then everybody looks at me and like, you're folding your pizza wrong.
You like rolled it.
Like,
you like rolled it
like a blunt.
You didn't fold it. You folded it like this,
like an animal,
and then bit onto it from the side. Like, we learned a lot about G this week. That's all I can say. We learned a lot. We found out who G the Echo really was, and for some reason, we still like him.
And then they brought out wine, and then I was like, where's the shot glass?
The way he was taking the wine, everybody else is trying to stir it a bit, like take sips of it. He's like, whoop, that's awful.
This is terrible. Gulp, 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 gulp.
And then Rex is like, you gotta swirl it and smell it. I'm like, That's kinky.
Luna's like
like,
patting him on the shoulder, like it's okay, G.
I've never had wine, and I'm like, all right, well, this is fun, But it was a good night, man. There's a lot, but the biggest thing, back to the pizza. Pizza came out with sauce, and then like 10 minutes later, pizza came out with sauce and cheese, and I'm like, okay, we're progressing.
We're evolving.
We're okay. And then the third pizza comes out and it has cheese, sauce, and then meat, and then mushrooms. And I'm like,
yeah, that was actually a good dinner. I actually want some more of that ravioli stuff.
I really wanted to have more.
Good.
I just didn't want to. I didn't want to fucking get the itis before we went out. Of course, it was Sunday, and apparently
everything was closed. Like
we went to the Alibi. The alibi.
Alibi.
I know.
Okay, G.
Did I say alibi?
Yes. He's like, there's this place called the Alibi that's open.
Hey, they were, it was a good place. In his cage.
Oh man. Stuff. Yeah, but so. Do we think a month's enough time for these guys to train up over there?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a good step. I think it's going to be a good step. I think it's going to be a good step, And if they prove me wrong, I'll be glad.
I have learned to love again. I heard the music out there. The lights hit me just right, and I'm I'm gonna tell you right now. I already know what's gonna happen. Is I'm gonna be sitting at my TV screen or at my computer screen screaming my lungs out because straight up because I am so fucking excited for them to go out there because I know they're gonna do great. Unlike some teams who
New Wave, we love you. New Wave, we love you. Dude. Third place. Where were we? Close.
What were we watching that
It was the day of the event.
Yeah, we're sitting there, me and Trex are all huddled in the corner, watching the screen that he's got up on his phone while they're giving out their. All right, guys, this is where you're gonna want to go if you need. They're giving us all the safety, what's gonna happen. And me and Trex are huddled. Yeah, me and Trex are huddled in the corner watching New Wave.
Lee, bro, they gotta be so. I don't. I can't imagine how they feel getting so close. Yeah. And there's two slots and you missed it, and especially again they 2-0'd them and then got reverse swept. It was best of 5. They could win the first 2 games. At that point you just gotta feel like I got this. How can I lose 3 games in a row? You know what I'm saying?
Impossible.
You might beat me once, you might beat me again, but there's no way you're beating us 3 games in a row. And Malvinas Gaming did, and that is just I really wanted to have 2 teams to cheer for. Yeah. So sadly, we won't. We'll have one.
We'll have one, but hey, it's North America. Even though technically New Wave is a little bit a part of North America in its own sense.
Mexico.
But yeah, exactly. But hey, again, I think the Valley's ready to some extent, but I'm still in the same boat as what you were saying when Mo was saying is these teams are also improving, Blacklist coming back, and putting in all of that effort. And I feel like they're one of the biggest things is that now NA is not new. It's not the BTK came in there and the teams were very unprepared. Yeah. I think that these teams aren't going to fall for that same situation. And if they
That's
do,
an interesting point.
It's good to see.
But hold on, because here's the thing, it's not like BTK came with some secret strategy that nobody knew about. BTK would just play
but they did.
But they didn't. They played ball. He played but things that it's not like the things he picked were genius picks. They want those games, if you look at them, they won off a skill, man. They won just because they were good, not because they outsmarted them. None of their picks became it wasn't Ballman Jungle was actually secretly good then or anything. It wasn't Saber Jungle was secretly good then. It wasn't. They just played so well as a team that they pulled it off, and maybe that's the surprise factor right there. But still, like, I think like
that to me is the surprise. Is those guys, they were not. They just thought that it was just Mobazane, and they just weren't prepared for how good. Yeah, we gave him Saber, but we'll be all right. I'll just pick a Harith into that for some reason because apparently that would make sense. It's just they were mountains better than they had anticipated, and I feel like a lot of teams didn't even bother really getting a coach to look at them. They're just like, we're just going to ban them out. That's the easiest thing. That's what we do with these teams. If they've got a star player, we ban that person out. And I think they kind of underestimated how deep his pool was because they had only seen his streams. However, they're not going to make that same mistake. They're going to treat him like I guarantee when they face the Valley, they're going to treat them like the threat they are this time. There's not going to be any of this like it's just NA. No, they're going to be looking to make a statement to try to knock down NA, and I'm hoping that the Valley's ready. I think that they can be ready because I don't know. I feel like we've got a really that's the thing why I say I'm a little bit more positive about it is because what I saw out there and the way that they talked about a lot of this stuff, they have a knowledge shared amongst that group that I feel is kind of in line with having a coach, what a coach usually represents to a lot of these teams, where a lot of these teams, they just kind of focus on the play. He says, you need to learn Cho and you need to learn him at tank. And they're gonna be like, okay, fuck it, let's work it. I feel like these guys not only play these characters good, but they've got a really advanced and higher understanding of their characters and their roles than I thought before, which really kind of, like I said, I feel like that might make up for the fact that they don't actually have a coach that is like trying to tell them what to play, how to draft, and things like that. We're gonna see out there though.
I mean, I'm 100% excited. Like I cannot wait to see what they do, and I mean, I have to go with what T-Rex was saying the other night, man. I predict them easily making it to the top 8.
Oh, for sure.
Easily.
I mean, if they don't, I still love them, but I'm like 95% sure they make it to top 8. I think it's like a 60-40 they get top 4 in my head. That's just my head.
80 top 4. That's my Vegas odds. I'm going
80 top 4.
I'm pretty sure it's top 4 at the very least. I think that they can.
I believe it too. I mean, of course, anything can happen. Like, I'm not doubting any other teams. They have a bad draft. They have a couple bad games, and it can happen. But like, God forbid they get like an easy bracket or something. You know what I'm saying? But I just think like if they get to the upper bracket, even if they lose, like I think they can take on easily half the teams that are going. All of South America, I think they stomp. A lot of other regions, I think they stomp. I think like if they get like Blacklist and then Echo back to back or something, like upper bracket this team, then lower bracket this team, like yes, there's the opportunity. Like they get the top 2 teams or something like back to back, or they get like a a really good ID team and then they could get knocked out early. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like those possibilities are there. I
feel like the odds are in their favor. I feel like because I'm worried about that too. I feel like there's the possibility they are in the same bracket with Blacklist, Echo, and then the Valley. That could be a little horrible, but that's I forgot what the percentage of that, but that's super low. And I'm very confident in their ability in any other bracket situation. Not even that they would lose that. I still think that they still might have a decent chance. I just think that would be the hardest scenario, the Philippines early, because you want to get some type of momentum underneath you first, and that's another thing too. Can they come back? Because as of yet, we have yet to see them pull themselves up after getting knocked down. We've seen them lose matches. We've never seen them lose series and be able to get back up. After when it happened to them, we've only seen them successful, which is so hard about this team, is because they're always so successful until they're not. Yeah. And when they're not, It's at the M3, that last little third place when they get beat by was it Onic?
It would be interesting to see them like get knocked out or get knocked out of the upper bracket early and have to go through the bottom bracket and beat a lot of other teams. And I think that would kind of like solidify the fact that, you know,
I'm gonna say this: if they get knocked down to the lower bracket and win their first series of the bracket, I think that they can get like second place.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think that they can get second place. If they, it just depends on when or if they get knocked down, how they recover from that. Because like it's so hard to say. They don't have a lot of experience picking themselves back up because they just dominate over here. Over there, they were dominating until they faced the two Filipino teams, and they just get knocked down, and out. You know what I mean? It's just it's hard to really kind of play off of that.
Yeah, I think they're ready. Well, we've spent a whole podcast talking about the Valley.
Yeah.
What else? Plans for the NACT, maybe plans happening this year that we're trying to do with the NASL.
Oh, we do have some things coming.
Yeah.
We do have some things coming.
So keep your ears to the ground, people. We're trying to get some things together and organized.
Announcements to be made.
We'll definitely we can say at least we're doing something in December. And you guys probably won't expect it. That's what I can say. We're not doing a league right now. We're not. I mean, and again, as everybody knows, when we talk
just
about
need a little bit of rest.
Yeah, and we need rest.
Honestly,
but we will be doing some sort of event. We already know what it is, but we'll release more info as time moves forward. But we will be keeping content coming. We're going to be doing the boosted, the three of us. Actually, you know what? To wrap this up, really, like one of the coolest things, or like to start moving towards the end here, was us three being able to talk in person about the North American Squad League, and us three being able to have like actual, business meeting time, but like actually meet face to face and talk and like kind of talk about what we want to do in the future of all of this and next year and things like that, and be able to do that face to face. I think that was really cool. So yeah, definitely a lot of plans. NASL, no matter what happens, NASL is going to keep on thriving.